favourite breakfasts, fresh fruit and yogurt. You know, yogurt has bacteria in it too, just like the bread that we talked about earlier in the week. So I wonder who could tell us a bit more about bacteria in foods. John, what do you think about that?
Bacteria in foods? Oh, okay. Well, we've got a bacillus called lactobacillus in hard cheeses. Other bacteria are used for like sauerkraut, you know, that sort of acid, sort of fermented cabbage and things like that. Now we've got maybe not bacteria, but yeast in beer and wine. So you have the yeast in your bread as well, and all sorts of things. Not just foods, but they use them in industrial technologies too, to make lots of ethanol. You know, the ethanol that might be in those hand sanitizers made by bacteria.
What about Vegemite? That's something people have on their breakfast.
Ah, yeah, that is yeast extract. So after the yeast has done its job and died, they make extract, which is full of all sorts of vitamins and goodies.
And yeast is a fungus?
It is indeed a fungus, a microscopic fungus.
Okay.
Budding yeast.
Thanks. Cool. Okay, so we've been enlightened by the microbiologist. Let's go and have a look at some of the bacteria we might find in our yogurt. See you at the microscope. Okay, so I heated my milk up to about 80 degrees. I've let it cool. It's taking about 20 minutes to cool down to about 45 degrees. It's a really, really good temperature now. And I'm going to mix in some yogurt. So as I have talked to you about earlier, yogurt has a couple of different sorts of bacteria. And if I just leave this as is and put it on my heat pad to keep warm, there's no bacteria in there. So I need to add in bacteria. So my yogurt over here is my starter culture. Again, it's full of bacteria. So I'm just going to plop a couple of spoons in there. And that's like inoculating the milk, the warm milk, with the bacteria, mix of bacteria that again is going to reproduce and going to set my yogurt, and all of this milk will be yogurt as well over time. But again, that's going to take about 8 hours. I've got a heat pad over here that keeps this inoculated milk at a temperature of about 35 degrees, and that's going to be really nice for my bacteria. So I think that should be pretty good. I'm going to pour it into my yogurt jar. Hopefully it's not too lumpy. Perfect. It does smell nice and sour even now. So I'll put the lid on so that nothing, I don't want anything from the air to fall in, any bacteria from the air. I just want the bacteria that's in my yogurt to multiply in that milk and make it set. That's why I put the lid on, and I also sterilise the jars. So now I'm going to put that over here on my heat pad. See, I've got a cord there, it's plugged in. And I'm going to leave that there. I'll cover it over. I'll leave that there for about 8 hours, and then we'll check it out then. Welcome back, and you've spent a lot of time in our kitchen over the last week. So today I'm just going to finish up looking at the yogurt. I think it's been in there for about 8 hours. Let's have a look at it and see how it's going. Okay, it's looking pretty solid. Just have a look at the top. You can see some bubbles there and it is looking quite stiff. So what has happened to that yogurt over the last 8 hours? Well, basically all of the bacteria in there have produced acid, which makes that tart flavour that yogurt has. And also it's broken down the proteins and made the milk solidify into one single mass. So I'm going to spoon a little bit out and we'll have a look, and I might be having this for breakfast. Looks pretty smooth. It's quite bubbly on the surface, but you can see underneath it's very smooth and quite solid. So I might mix that with fruit and have a little bit for breakfast. Cheers.